So I would say there are a range of approaches that we take in those three distinct phases of the exercise: before, during, and after visiting one of our branches. Ahead of time, we have as much contact as possible with the branch by email, on the telephone. We may set up a virtual call to walk them through the process, to answer any questions they may have, to alleviate any potential concerns, and also to share with them ahead of time the benchmarks workbook, which gives the parliaments the first opportunity to assess themselves against the CPA standards. Once we are on the ground, we are in the hands of the host branch. They kindly put together a meeting schedule for us for the duration of our time visiting the branch. But in my experience, no two meetings are alike. Some are formal and with very senior stakeholders. Others can be more relaxed, from one staff member to another. We hold focus groups, we've had teach-ins, we've had learning sessions, we've had opportunities to share best practices from around the Commonwealth with the branch that's undertaking the self-assessment exercise. A lot of our time is spent in meeting rooms and conference rooms, but we also try, wherever possible, to get away from the Parliament, to go and visit high schools, to go and visit media houses, to go and visit civil society groups to see the really good work that they do at first hand. We would also, throughout the course of the week, be having regular conversations, I think, with the clerk of the Parliament in question and senior management staff, to keep them abreast of how the week is going, but also to share with them maybe some early thoughts we have about the kind of issues that are cropping up in our conversations, because ultimately the whole process is owned by the branch itself. So there's a courtesy to keep the clerk of the House up to speed, but also it provides a really valuable opportunity for us to use a sounding board for the kind of recommendations that may wish, or I beg your pardon, that may end up materializing in our report. And then post-deployment, that is the third phase of the exercise. We produce a report summarising contents from the workbook and from the discussions we've had whilst on the ground. And they include a set of recommendations for where we feel the Parliament may wish to start doing certain things that it at present isn't already doing. Perhaps stop things that they are currently doing which aren't particularly effective, and just to improve other ways of working that we would have witnessed firsthand from the benchmark exercise. So I would say no two benchmark exercises are identical, and different approaches with different parliaments work in different ways.
I think if I could just add, I think one of the things that's really important when we're doing the meetings is that we try and structure the meetings in a kind of a hierarchical format. So we'll start off meeting with the Speaker and the Clerk first of all, and then we'll expand within the Parliament to the membership, to the officials, and then beyond that we'll then, I think, talk to more of the external stakeholders who work very closely with the legislature, because I think that helps paint a good picture. And I think one of the things that we try and do when we're facilitating the process is that it's about looking at not just the theory but also the practice. So if a jurisdiction, yes, they meet the benchmarks in their standing orders, but then that's not ever utilised, then there may be a question about how well they meet the benchmarks. So, for example, if we take petitions, normally petitions are incorporated into standing orders, but nobody ever has a petition and it's never brought before Parliament. So then it's a question of, well, yes, you have it in standards, but you don't do it in practice. So, and that's the sort of nuance that we need to look at when we're facilitating the process and producing that report, to highlight, the difference between the reality and the theory.
Just another thing to highlight, obviously in the third phase of the process, is that once the report has been developed, once the Parliament has received that report, it is very much owned by the Parliament. It is their report, it is their recommendations to take forward, and it is how they see fit to take those forward. And of course, they can ask for assistance from the CPA. So we also conduct technical assistance programs, and this consists of maybe perhaps developing an MOU with the CPA to look at specific points of recommendations that we can take forward with the Parliament, whether that is to update standing orders, whether that is to create a new code of conduct for their members, specific legislation that they would like passed and bills put forward. So there are technical assistance programs that CPA can further support the Parliament with once those recommendations and once that report has been published. And again, it is very much owned by the Parliament, and for them to take forward and have that ownership going forward as well.